Today I want to talk about a movie that's considered one of the worst superhero movies ever made, Catwoman. This movie has an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes, it bombed at the box office, and it won 4 Razzie Awards, including Worst Picture, Worst Actress, Worst Director, and Worst Screenplay. And honestly, I understand why. This movie is objectively bad. The writing is all over the place, the CGI hasn't aged well at all, and the editing is so chaotic that it honestly gives me a headache sometimes. But I still love this movie. Not because I think everyone else is wrong, not because I think it's secretly some misunderstood masterpiece. I just genuinely have a good time every time I watch it. So today I want to explain why I think Catwoman is an objectively bad movie and why I still enjoy it anyway. Now before anybody starts typing, when I say objectively bad, I'm not saying movies are objective. Entertainment is always subjective. What I'm talking about are the actual filmmaking decisions. Things like storytelling, editing, character motivation, pacing, the stuff that filmmakers generally agree should be done well. And I think Catwoman struggles in pretty much all of those areas. But now enjoying a movie, that's completely different. To understand why this movie turned out the way it did, you kind of have to look at how it got made. Originally, Warner Brothers wanted to make a spin-off starring Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman after Batman Returns. But that version never happened. The project spent years in development. The script kept getting rewritten, and by the time the production finally started, it was basically a completely different movie. Instead of Selena Kyle, we got Patience Phillips. Instead of Gotham City, we got a brand new original city. And instead of making it feel connected to Batman, they pretty much removed Batman from the equation altogether. Which in my opinion, is a really weird decision. Because if you're making a Catwoman movie, why wouldn't you want it to actually feel like Catwoman? Warner Brothers also hired Pete Off to direct the movie. Before this, he had mostly only worked in visual effects and had only directed one feature film. Looking back, I think you can definitely tell. Instead of Selena Kyle, we follow Patience Phillips. She's this really shy graphic designer who works for a cosmetics company called Haterade Beauty. One day she accidentally discovers that the company's newest anti-aging cream has some pretty serious side effects, so naturally, they kill her. She's dumped through this giant drainage pipe into the ocean, dies, and then a magical Egyptian Malcat brings her back to life. I'm not joking, that's literally what happens. That's her origin story. Then from here the movie just gets weirder. After Patience comes back, this movie completely leans into the cat thing. She starts eating tuna straight out of the can, sleeping on top of shelves, hissing at people, doing random flips for no reason. It's like everybody making this movie kept asking, what would a cat do? Without ever asking, does this actually make the movie better? Then we get to the costume. Now I know a lot of people hate this suit, and look, I get it, it's definitely not comic book accurate, but honestly, I don't hate it. I think she looks good. It is ridiculous, but the movie is ridiculous, so the costume kind of fits. If the rest of the movie was on a more serious tone, then it'll probably bother me a little bit more, but since everything else is so over the top, I can just rock out with it, I think she looks good. And then we have the basketball scene. If you've seen this movie, you already know what I'm talking about. Patience and Tom somehow end up flirting by playing basketball in front of a bunch of kids. And from a filmmaking perspective, the scene is kind of fascinating. One thing good action scenes usually do is make everything easy to follow. Even if they're fast, you should always know where everybody is, what they're doing, and how one movement leads into the next. This movie does the exact opposite. The camera literally never stops moving. There are random zoom-ins, Dutch angles, extreme close-ups. The movie cuts so fast that sometimes it feels like it changes shots every second. Instead of making the scene exciting, it just makes it hard to follow. The movie mistakes movement for energy, but those aren't the same thing. Ironically, if they had just backed the camera up a little bit and let Halle Berry and Benjamin Bratt actually play basketball, I probably would have enjoyed the scene even more. Instead, we just get one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in a superhero movie. Then we get to the ending. Instead of fighting some giant supervillain, Catwoman fights Sharon Stone. Because Sharon's skin products somehow made her skin as hard as marble. Literally hard as marbles. I'm not even making fun of the movie, I'm literally just telling y'all what happened. But I think this is another reason why I think this movie doesn't really work. Because Patience spends the whole movie learning to become more confident and embrace who she is. So you'd expect the final fight to really test that growth. Instead, it's mostly just punching and kicking. The emotional story and the action really never come together. So the ending feels a lot smaller than it probably should. So why do I love it? Because everyone is trying. Nobody feels checked out. Halle Berry is giving it everything she's got. Sharon Stone is giving it everything she's got. The stunt team is trying. The costume designers are trying. Everybody's completely committed. Halle Berry even trained in capoeira, learning to use a whip, and studied cat behavior while preparing for this role. You can tell she actually cared. And honestly, I can respect that. Then the movie comes out, it bombs, she wins a Razzie. Instead of pretending it never happened, she actually shows up to accept it. She walks on stage carrying an Oscar she won just 2 years earlier for Monsters Ball.
Oh my God! First of all, I want to thank Warner Brothers.
And jokingly thanks Warner Brothers for casting her in what she called
A piece of shit god-awful movie.
And I can't even lie, that's iconic. I also think there's a reason this movie has developed such a big cult following over the years. Not because people suddenly think it's a masterpiece, but because it has personality. Love it or hate it, you are not forgetting this movie. Nobody forgets the basketball scene, nobody forgets the costume, nobody forgets Sharon Stone becoming superhuman because of the face cream. It's weird, it's messy, but it's memorable. And honestly, I'd rather watch a movie that's interesting and completely falls on its face than one that's perfectly okay but doesn't leave any impression at all. At the end of the day, I completely understand why people think Catwoman is a bad movie, because it literally is. But movies aren't math. Just because something is bad doesn't automatically mean it can't be entertaining. I don't think Catwoman is a good movie. I don't think it's misunderstood. I just think it's fun. And sometimes that's enough. So if you've never seen it, give it a chance. Worst case scenario, you get to laugh at one of the weirdest and strangest superhero movies ever made. Best case, you end up loving this insane movie just as much as I do.